Welcome back everybody, Matt the Matt here, hope you're doing well. So at the end of last week we got some news, some very disappointing news by the way, that the Kelvin timeline in the Star Trek series, and the Kelvin timeline is a timeline that was the reboot from the 2009 Star Trek, starring Chris Pine, Zoe Saldana, Zachary Quinto, Carl Urban, John Cho, the late Anton Yelchin, is officially ending. This is very disappointing. I am not a Star Trek fan, actually. I'm more of a Star Wars guy. Even though even now these days I don't even know if I'm a Star Wars guy. But I'm not a Star Trek fan. Me, no Star Trek. I really haven't watched any other than these 3 Star Trek movies. These are my Star Trek movies. I've seen the one they did before the reboot with Tom Hardy back in 2002. But other than that, I haven't seen any other Star Trek movies. I watched a little bit of the TV series from the 90s with Patrick Stewart, but other than that, I am not a Star Trek guy. This movie, the 2009 movie, that came out near the end of my freshman year of college, was really my Star Trek. This got me into the Star Trek, and I'm a huge fan of the 2009 movie, one of my favorites from that year. I didn't mind Into Darkness, even though it was a Wrath of Khan remake practically. And I like the one they did in 2016. And there's been a lot of talk over the almost 10 years now that, oh yeah, we're going to do a 4th one, we're going to do a 4th one. They've had so many directors come and go. The director that just did the Fantastic Four movie was supposed to direct the 4th one, then he jumped ship and went and did Fantastic Four. And it looks like we officially found out last week that they are officially not moving forward with any more Star Trek movies in this timeline. So no more Chris Pine, no more Zoe Saldana, no more Zachary Quinto, no more Carl Urban, John Cho, etc. And I'm really disappointed. I love this cast. This was a great cast. Every actor that was in this series, in this timeline franchise, was great. Zachary Quinto, perfect Spock. Zoe Saldana, Ahura. Chris Pine. I mean, even the late Anton Yelchin, Carl Urban. I mean, they're fun movies. And I've always wanted a 4th one. But even though they did end the 3rd one in a way that felt more like the ending of a trilogy, and they were going to have Chris Hemsworth return, I am disappointed. But once again, I've said it over and over and over again, the problem with this franchise, and not only that the budgets were too high for these movies, the problems were they waited too long to make sequels. The first one came out in 2009. It was a huge hit, made a lot of money that summer, well received. They waited 4 years. 4 years to make a sequel. They should have had a sequel out by 2011. The latest 2012. Then they waited another 3 years to make the 3rd one. That's the problem. That's the problem because if they did it right. You had the first one out in 2009, second one out by 2011, 2013, 2012. 2012. That was a big year for movies. So that way you already had the second one out in 2012 and had the 3rd one out by 2015. And you want to give it that, another 3-year gap, which is fine. The 3rd one would have came out before Star Wars, before Disney had The Force Awakens. But since you had the movie come out after, the 3rd one come out after The Force Awakens, and we're going to be getting that Rogue One movie later that year. It was in the middle of 2 Star Wars movies. Star Wars and Star Trek, no comprende. No comprende. And that's the problem. It had a window of becoming its own thing again before Star Wars, when there was no Star Wars going on. But when you kept pushing the movies out longer and longer to make a sequel, you're getting closer and closer to Star Wars. And that was the problem. And then you wait now, next year will already be 10 years since the last one came out. 10 years. You're telling me you couldn't figure out a story, a 90-minute to 2-hour movie storyline in the past 10 years. That is insane. That's like Anakin Skywalker complaining to Padme in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. It's insane. Why shouldn't I be a Jedi Master? You know? It's insane you waited 10 years to make a Star Trek movie. And you still had all this cast signed on for a sequel. And you never moved forward with it. Shame. 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 Not you. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I wanted a 4th movie. I wanted to see these guys all back together again. But we're not going to get it. What do you think? Are you mad that we're not getting another Star Trek in this timeline? I'm really, maybe down the road they'll decide to do another one, but it's already been 10 years. I mean, one thing, if they already had one already coming out next year, it was already filmed, done, just ready to put out for like the 10th anniversary of the 3rd one, but that's not the case. They got nothing. Nada. Zilch. I don't even know what is it, live long and prosper? Yeah, live long and prosper my ass. 10 years of waiting. 10 years of waiting, living long and prospering. For what? Let me know in the comments below if you're disappointed in this, like I am, or do you care? Other than for these Star Trek movies, I'm not a Star Trek guy.